Tonight, the U.S. Coast Guard has called off the search for victims of a plane crash in Washington state. The float plane went down just north of Seattle Sunday with 10 people on board, including a woman from San Diego. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe spent the day learning more about the victims and the crash.
A total of 9 adults and 1 child were on the plane when it went down in a bay near Seattle. We now know the identities of all victims on board, including that of a successful businesswoman here in San Diego.
After hours of extensive search, authorities in Washington state suspended the search for passengers of a seaplane that went down near Whidbey Island.
At this time, just as seen, it is completely under the water.
10 people were on board the float plane, including 60-year-old Joanne Mera from San Diego. Mera, a successful business owner of over 30 years, co-owned Pacific Events, an event production, design, and rental company in San Diego. In a statement from her company, it states Mera was to celebrate a wedding anniversary with her husband and adds that Joanne was passionate about people, their stories, and their dreams. Her family says Mera was visiting other family members in Seattle at the time of the crash. In a statement, she's described as someone everyone gravitated towards and that she was the life of any party and the soul of her family. The statement goes on to say, quote, "She was the best mom, wife, sister, and friend. Our hearts are shattered, not just for our family's loss, but for the loss we know other families are feeling right now." Mera leaves behind 3 children and her husband of over 30 years.
That's why I wanted.
CBS 8 News spoke to Joanne in 2002 when she began genetic testing for breast cancer after losing 2 sisters to the disease.
When you see somebody close to you that you love die and the kids that they leave behind, it's very sad.
The plane she was on took off from Friday Harbor and was just 18 minutes into its nearly 1-hour flight to Renton, Washington, when it crashed into Mutiny Bay. The Coast Guard says no distress calls were made.
Reports are that the aircraft dropped suddenly at a fair amount of speed and hit the water.
Among those on board, a child, a pregnant woman, and a Spokane civil rights activist. The body of one woman was found following the crash, but the remaining 9 other people on board are still missing and believed to have died.
My heart goes out to the families. It's just really, really hard to lose people suddenly like that.
Investigators are now focusing on what caused the plane to go down. The NTSB is taking over the investigation. Rocio de la Fe, CBS 8.